Alright, so, sun is rising. Trees are growing. And let's see if this guy has anything worth trading. Packed ice, orange dye, oxeye daisy. No, nothing worth collecting. Okay. So, there are a couple of things we do need. So, okay, sound didn't register there. So I'm gonna try and record quite a bit tonight. And what we're gonna end up doing today is I need to restock up on my, supplies here. So let's, go ahead and grab all of this here. Because the thing is basically I am at a point where a lot of my projects require a lot of intense resources. So what we're going to end up doing is we are just going to go ahead and like start stockpiling a number of different resources. Be it books or anything of that nature. Alright, that's a multiple of 3. But we need lots of emerald. We need lots of mending books. So unfortunately, this week is also a terrible week for me to do anything. Fire protection. Protection 3. Yeah, that'll be fine. So I'm just gonna have to like start stockpiling like massive amounts of goods. So let's get about 16 emeralds each. There we go. But we need to massively stockpile a large amount of well, oak logs. Alright, there we go. Well, I mean jungle wood logs. One, I am going through a very large amount of, alright, grab one bookshelf. One mending book. And let's see here. This is efficiency 5. And one efficiency 5 book. So I'm probably gonna have to get like entire chests full of like specific enchantments. Mending and efficiency are the way to go. But let's grab this here so I can burn some EXP. Loyalty, sharpness 3. Okay. Not bad. But we need a lot of jungle wood. And this is something that's gonna come up here. Like, I don't think this has come up before, but the reason we need a lot of jungle wood is mainly because of all the charcoal I'm gonna be burning through for a while. So, for today, we are going to drastically increase our stockpile of jungle wood. Like, I don't wanna have to deal with jungle wood any more than I absolutely have to. So we will go over to our little jungle wood area over here. And, like, a firm reminder that I'm gonna have to get around to decorating this place even more, because building this place is not gonna be something that gets done overnight. And I'm gonna need to, like, set up a number of, like, underwater beacons and things of that nature. Like, we got lots of things to do. Like, I'm never gonna run out of things to do at this point. Alright, so, every time we fill up my inventory, we'll run back. Or until we get to a point where my, axe just straight up breaks. But I'm trying to get, like, all of next week's recordings done in, like, tonight or tomorrow. Mainly because of the fact that I have papers I have to write, and I'm of the mind that those take first priority above all else. And, like, I have today off to do things. So just getting this done straight away is the best option. So getting this out of the way is something I need to do. But recently got a paper done, and it was on classroom management. And this is not something I really put a lot of thought into. But, like, the subject of the paper was, like, how would you want your classroom organized? And at the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, there's a number of things I would like to have in my classroom. But, I'm also like, yeah, I don't think, they'd be willing to, give us such nice things. But I want to fill up a couple chests of jungle logs just so I can, like, say, like, we won't have to do this for, like, a couple months. Because that's what gives me the most problems right now, is the fact that I have to spend a lot of time just collecting a big chunk of wood. My wood. And it's easy because I have the timber data pack, but it's still time consuming and resource heavy because of all the bone meal I chew through. So I think I might actually end up just, like, completely burning through my bone meal supplies. Like, that may actually end up being a thing. Oh wait. I just realized I have, like, a big stash of bone meal, like, down in the cave system I'm working on for all the farms I plan on building down there. Yeah, we need to, actually put some work into that this week. I also need to spend some time harvesting more jack-o'-lanterns. And setting up some chains and lanterns down there. Like, I got a lot of work I need to get set up. Alright, let's keep going. And once I run out of inventory space, we will go offload what we currently possess. And I think I can get away with growing, like, one more tree. Yeah, okay, let's go offload our inventory. So, like, on the subject of, like, the classroom management paper, basically we were I was asked on this paper, like, how would you organize your classroom and, like, how would you set it up? And, like, my first thought is, I have no idea how I would set up my classroom. Because the thing is having been a substitute teacher, I've been in a number of different style of classrooms, and my first thought is, like, no classroom is exactly the same. A lot of them have, like, really weird quirks to them. Like, some classrooms I've been in have, like, a massive air conditioning system from, like, the 1960s that take up, like, a good chunk of the room. Some classrooms I've been in don't have any windows whatsoever, and that's actually an important thing there. I would like to have a classroom with windows. Like, I think that would be an important thing to me. Because you don't realize how hard it is to tell time without, like, being able to see the passage of time outside. It's really weird, honestly. But, eventually, after a while, I managed to, like, cobble together, like, an idea of, like, what I would like in a classroom. Ideally speaking, I'd be able to, like, adjust, like, where the desks are. But I know for a fact that some classrooms, the desks are bolted to the floor. I've been in a couple classrooms where they've bolted the desks to the floor so you can't move them around. Which would make a lot of group activities I would have the kids do really inconvenient. Because being able to move desks around is actually something that's really convenient. It's also, convenient for when the janitor needs to, like, clean up certain messes. Like, I am gonna have to, like, devote, like, a large chunk of the, wood we get from this to, making charcoal at some point. But I'm gonna run out of bone meal, and that means we're gonna have to take a trip to our other bone meal production facility that I rarely ever touch. And that I plan on expanding. But we get a good chunk of jungle wood just from doing this whole shebang. And admittedly, I'm probably gonna burn through a good chunk of my durability on my axe here. But that's okay, we have mending. We should be fine. But there are a couple of problems with, like, how I would get my ideal classroom set up. Namely, the first being the issue of the fact that a lot of classrooms have, like, arbitrary limitations on what you can and can't do, depending on, like, what school you're in. So there is that. And there's also the fact that you're generally, like, given, like, a set amount of supplies to work with. A lot of the things in, like, a classroom here in the United States are just straight up provided by the teacher. So, like, any sort of, like, books along the wall that aren't textbooks are from, like, a teacher's personal library, or the posters on the wall are just straight up from the teacher themselves. Yeah, okay, now we're out of bone meal. So we will run back and go ahead and offload all of this. And I can probably get, like, one more session out of this. But we will just go ahead and grab, like, a stack from our a stack of bone meal from my production facility down the way. And this guy has refused to leave. Alright, so let's go ahead and offload a good chunk of this here. Like, this is not gonna last long, regardless of, like, how much I would like it to last. Alright. So, let's go get our bone meal. Well, the remaining bone meal we need. But, one of the things on the paper was, like, how do you think, like, the placement of desks would affect classroom management? Which, like, one of the things I've learned is on these master's program papers, the questions are always incredibly vague. Like, just accept it. It's the way it is. Alright, so we will go ahead and burn through what bone meal we have in our inventory, and then we'll say we're good. But, the vague questions are always the hard questions. Because, ideally speaking, I would have my desks in just, like, straight-up rows. Because, I plan on teaching high school, and it's easier for, like, tests to be given when, the kids aren't facing each other. Because I've had to proctor, like, several tests for teachers who have, been out. And, when the kids are facing each other, or their desks are, like, put, like, really right next to each other, it's really hard to proctor an exam. And, like, once you get to high school, like, the amount of exams and tests you take increase pretty drastically. But, like, my biggest gripe is, like, I had to write 4 pages on, like, what my ideal classroom was. And, like, for me, that's kind of a difficult thing, because, like, I always figured I would just figure it out when I get there. Because, you don't really know what you're going to get until, like, you get there. Like, they could just straight up give me, like, 30 desks and a chalkboard and be like, figure it out. Because that could always be the case in some events. And sometimes, like, these trees just use, like, a large amount of bone meal. Like, I will note that as a thing. But I never thought I'd be, like, writing 4 pages on, like, what I would like my ideal classroom to be like. And that's just, like, the classroom, like, layout. Like, they also had me, like, go over, like, what rules I would like in my classroom. Which is an entirely different subject. Because, ideally speaking, like, I shouldn't have to have, like, any sort of special rules or anything. But, knowing how high school students are, sometimes, a classroom may have a wacky rule, and it's usually there for a good reason. But, I think I've mostly filled up, that second chest. Like, I've burned through a good chunk of, like, what we need down here. Alright, we'll use the last of this bone meal here, and then we will, say we're pretty much done on harvesting jungle logs for a bit. But I think what I want to do next is I want to get to work on, well, I've sort of been ignoring the area underneath my, like, base here. Like, I really do need to get around to, like, cleaning that out. So can I, grow this last 3 with just this bone meal? Yes. Yes, I can. I'll consider that a victory. Alright, so let's head back. We got enough wood to last us for a while, so I think we're good. So I think we'll work on the area beneath, our house. And we have just passed 500 days. So, we're gonna need to put up a sign here. Like, on, like, what exact date I passed 500 days of Minecraft. Let's make a sign real quick. Alright, there we go. Okay, so on the inside here, we will mark, like, every couple hundred days, like, what day we passed what. 500 days past, 7/22/2022. This is going up, like, on the 24th, so there is that. But, I think today has been good to me.